LegendFM mix where we sit down with some interesting gang and a mix of people doing interesting things. And this evening, it is good to be sitting down with somebody who made a huge impact during COVID and she's looking to move on from there. I'm sitting down with a mind. Yeah, I was about to say the mad mind behind Fiction Fiji Stephanie Datt. Why Stephanie Mbula?
Mbula.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah? You know what? Before we go any further, I think it's only fair since this is about the mix that we actually have a touch. Yeah, so how have you been?
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be obviously talking about Fiction Fiji and how it came about and all that kind of thing. But also we'll be touching on other topics.
Okay.
Yeah, and no, I know you're nervous. I'm nervous too. Yeah, like.
I think we'll be okay after this.
Yeah, which is number nervousness. Bula, Stephanie. So the first question I'd like to ask you is Fiction Fiji.
Yeah.
So it came out, made a huge impact. Why did you release it in that format, in those short chapters, and that were going up one after the other?
Right. Okay, I don't think I chose that format. I think that format chose me because what happened was when I put that first 2 chapters out, I didn't think anyone was reading it.
Yeah.
So I hadn't actually finished writing it, and I didn't know where that story was going. I know.
Really?
Yeah, and then so when it picked up, and then I was like, oh crap, I gotta finish this. And so now when I'm writing seriously, then I realize what a huge risk that was.
Yeah. So basically you just wrote the first 2 chapters, put it up and said, okay, set. And then
I was just gonna do it slowly, and then when it just sort of.
Because people were like actually getting angry at the author behind the story about, hey, this is something you can do wrong and everything. The name Fiction Fiji, where did that come from?
It just.
Basically, like it says on the label.
Yeah.
One of the things I think I really want to ask you is the events in Fiction Fiji, especially that first story.
Yeah.
How much of that is actual fiction and how much of that is real?
Man, I'm glad you asked that because my husband has just finished some of his colleagues. And then, hey, your wife writes that Fiction Fiji. Yeah? Sometimes I think it's her own experience. You'd be like, no. So it's good. I gotta clear his name. No, all of that was fiction. It's called Fiction Fiji. Yeah, it was. I can't confirm or deny whether anyone's been moonlighting behind the Nava mortuary, but if they did, well, good for them. So it was all fiction. Yeah.
So but like you said, it's fiction and all that kind of thing, but we know that similar events kind of do happen.
Yes, so I guess it was influenced by things that happen in society,
But we can confirm there's nothing to do with you, your husband, or your family.
No.
So what? And like you did the first 2 chapters, and the pressure started coming down on you to finish the series. What was that like? Because like you said, you didn't know where the story was going, so.
I think I work well under pressure. Yes, that's what pushed me because I knew I wanted to hold myself accountable to make time for writing every day. So that's what the intention was when I put out Fiction Fiji. And then when it got like that, I was like, oh. So it turned out well, but I'm not gonna do that again.
but like the characters in that first story, especially, that was the love triangle one,
Yeah.
And then your second series, the one that had a more supernatural twist to it.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
That's what I want to write. I like dark stuff, but I don't think we're quite ready for that. Yeah, that just that was based on the lockdown. Yeah, people coming home and. I don't know where that came from. It came from the recesses of my mind.
Well, you might want to hold up a spotlight on that magic that kind of thing comes floating up.
It was just because a lot of people were separated during that time. And I just one day I thought, man, what would happen if some people came home and they just didn't know who their partner was? Because
that was, I love the first one. I love that whole, that sordid drama. Yeah. But the second one was honestly enthralling. I was really thinking like, this is almost like screenplay levels type of,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah?
I was happy with it. I also did that thing where I left myself a little bit to finish.
Yeah?
So I didn't actually know what was going to happen at the end of that.
So you're writing the story and you're not too sure.
Yes.
What's it like, that process of writing fiction? Because I love to read. I'm always fascinated by people who can actually get out there and write. Like, how do you do that?
I just think it was just I have to say the comments are just as entertaining as the
story itself, yeah?
So I get a lot of, I feel encouraged by that too, and that helps me too. I think it's a mad process, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody because it's crazy. It's a lot of pressure, then I wouldn't speak to anybody in the house.
Why write it in the first place?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You love it. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but you love it.
It's a love-hate relationship. It's a bit like Lizette.
Lizette. Man, wait, okay, Lizette was the troublemaker, right?
Yes.
Ah, man. I read the stories again to refresh my memory, and it's funny reading it now. Because at the time when they came out, that was like during COVID, and now I'm reading this thing like, my gosh, these people are scandalous. What's the on the whole the reaction to the story was positive, but what's a weird criticism you received?
A lot of people thought I was writing about them.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm not Lizette.
Seriously?
Yeah. And that's the reason that I had to sort of out myself. I would have loved to stay anonymous. It's more suspense. But I had to come out and just say who I was because someone even thought that there was a little bit of a drama. Someone thought that it was her ex writing about her.
Really?
Yeah, and people were saying, is this my neighbor writing about me and my story? Man, how many people got with that story?
But see, that's the thing. You just write the story. People are seeing themselves in there.
Yes.
That's kind of on them. So that's one of some of the criticism you received. Eh?
Yeah, I was accused of the spill.
Yeah.
So someone thought I was writing about some thing that actually happened, but it wasn't. It was just two teenage kids taking the piss out.
So that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of there in the title of the page, right? Fiction Fiji, eh? As in Fiji, too, it can be very, very little, eh?
Yeah.
Really?
Like the only things that weren't fiction is that there was a time in November when I had written the 16 days of activism against violence against women and girls. Yeah, those. Those were actual stories, but I just altered them a bit. Yeah, so those were. I had asked readers to send in their stories.
And you had just changed the details to protect her. That's cool.
But it was very, it was hard to write.
Must have been.
It was really hard to write.
On that note, you write these pieces of fiction. There's a lot of empathy involved. Like the characters become real people to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel for them, and I think that's when I know I'm on the right track. When I'm crying for them, I'm laughing.
So like for example, about Lizzie, I mean, you created Lizzie, but you're like Lizzie, you bloody.
But in the end, I felt sorry for Lizzie.
Yeah, no, true.
Mm-hmm.
What you mentioned earlier about you actually wanted to remain anonymous, and so Fiction Fiji takes off, and everybody's talking about it. Trying to find out who it was. What was that like for you, just watching everybody try to? Because I got asked if I was a writer for Fiction Fiji. I was like, man, I ain't that talented.
It was. I don't know. It felt.
I mean, okay. A part of you must have been a bit amused watching all the reactions of people.
Yes, because they were the people that I knew. That was like, who the hell is this? Because this sounds like my story. And now it's like, no, bro, it's all from. I guess it is. From society as a whole, the events, but they weren't actually taken from anything that happened. It was just
again, like he says on the label, Fiction Fiji.
Yeah, and I didn't write. I feel like the story sort of took over me, and it wrote itself rather than me plotting, which is what normal people do. They write a plot, and
so you just basically.
I'm gonna try to be normal now because I don't want to have a stroke.
You just basically went, let's swing it. Oh, cool.
It's something that I always wanted to do, and I think without COVID, I was thinking, man, just do it, man. Because you just don't know, life is short. Go ahead and do it. And then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that it just took off, man.
Yeah, It was an interesting, and I had tortured everyone in the household. I was laughing to myself in the middle of the night, reading the comments. Sometimes I just go, once it comes to me, I'll just go off and then I'll start laughing to myself, being like, oh, there she goes again. Mother, come back here.
What is your husband think about all this?
Well, at first, I think he was, I think once it got, when it
started rolling.
Yeah. And he was like, you're gonna come back to us at some point. I was like, yeah, just let it. I think out of everybody, I have to shout out to him because he's been a really great support. And he can be talking to me, see, my brain doesn't stop even when I go to sleep. So it's just rolling. And I have a really bad habit of falling off to sleep.
Right.
So sometimes when we having our pillow talk, and just last week, and he was saying something to me, and I said, but what's inside the egg? And he's like, oh, fire up, are you here? Yeah, so, shout out to him for putting up with the many personalities. Thank
your
you.
kids, what are your kids? I mean, do they know about the page? What's their...
Yeah, they know a bit about it. I don't think they
really...
Yeah? I was really... I don't know how I felt when someone pointed out that my son was following the page, and I was like, oh my. my 18-year-old, I was like, oh no.
Oh man.
So I just had to go to him and I was like, hey, that's before I said that it was me. I was like, just letting you know, this isn't how we talk in real life.
Oh wow. So your 18-year-old who's old enough to understand is actually following
so
that.
he followed the page and I saw his name there, Jake, and I was like, damn.
What do you say? You can't follow that.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Wow.
But I also have, I don't do it alone. So if I'm uncertain about a chapter, I have 3 sisters.
Right.
I have my older sister, so I usually send it to her and I say, can you look this over? And she's always very honest. So that helps. Yeah, she's a legend. She's always helping.
Oh, that's cool, man. So your 3 sisters actually have a bit of a hand in at least editing it and give it. Cool. So I mean, you read this book, you read these books by overseas novelists.
Yeah.
Does that help you write about things like the Fiction Fiji stuff? Does that influence the Fiction Fiji stuff? Do you reckon?
No, I could, but there's nothing to relate to. That's why I was so excited to see Mary.
Oh yes.
Her The Night Watch. When I saw it, I was like, man,
she's amazing, man.
Yes, she is. It was so good, and that kind of thing. That's what inspires me. Okay, we can do this because we have an audience here, and
Well, where do you want to take the writing?
I want to just.
Or are you just writing for the hell of it?
No, actually, I'm working on a book and something for the page. So the book one at the moment is called My Brother's Keeper. So it's based on here now about society's pointing on a lot of things that I think the overall theme of it is the Vingachi in families and friends in small societies. And the other one that I'm working on for the page, which scares me. So when I'm scared, I know that it's something. So it's sort of based on Fijian dystopia in the future, like a wretched humanity, and.
But set in Fiji.
But set in Fiji.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So I called my baby sister up and I was like, 200-300 years into the future, everyone's living in underground, we're building upwards, there's no money, there's only, maybe it's a police state or something. What do you think the bad guys would be wearing? But keep it in Fiji. I was like, snakeskin Sulu. And I was like, okay, yeah. I said, none of that metally thing, because that will never happen to us. And she was like, oh snap, what about, those dried mongoose? And we just... So, I'm interested to see where that goes, I think.
So how far along are you on the one for the page?
So the one for the page, I think I'm halfway through, and it's sort of going down a Hunger Games tunnel.
Before you continue, so you've learned your lesson. You're going to finish it before
I'm going to finish it. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, so you're halfway through?
So I'm halfway through. It's sort of going down like a Hunger Games sort of channel
Right.
for me, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
you know, desperate for money, plays a game to entertain the people with money.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, wait for that one. I don't know how that will be received because that's totally different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And then, do you have a set date for releasing it?
No.
No, eh? So you're just gonna want to finish
So
it?
I'm just gonna finish
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah. But I work on it a little bit every day. Yeah.
Wow. I suppose, like, because you mentioned that earlier, you try and write every day, right?
Yeah.
And that's you on the laptop?
Yeah, so, you know, with the undoing, I wrote that whole thing on my phone.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then I was like, no, I can't do this. I need this time. So so the rest of it.
Oh, you did that on your phone?
On my phone. I was bored out of my brains during COVID, during the lockdown, and I was like, I'm just gonna write about this.
But that's, I mean, obviously COVID wasn't something for anyone to be happy about, but for a lot of guys in Fiji, it did seem to release a side of them that,
Yes.
Yeah?
You know, people came out with all these side businesses,
Yeah.
they honed in on their talents, and that's like a good overflow from COVID. It's not all bad, but everyone sort of tapped into what their hobbies, I guess. I mean,
they made more than the page right now, how many followers or whatever does it have? Do you know?
I think 7,000.
Yeah. What's the funniest comment you ever?
Oh no, I can't.
Yeah?
I can't pick a funniest comment.
Nastiest? If you can.
Oh, well, a good nasty. Someone said Anna deserves a feisty four-legged carnivore.
Whoa! Keep talking.
And I was like, dang, I'm not gonna get that image out of my head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like, as far as the writing goes, at the end of the day, it just comes down to you enjoying it, eh?
Yes.
Yeah? Even when the pressure is on.
Yeah, so that's the thing, and that I keep reminding myself. Nothing that you do will ever be perfect for everyone. Someone will always criticize your work.
Yeah.
So just write for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. You know?
And that's, I mean, for anyone who creates anything, something like Fiction Fiji, you know, it can be polarizing. You can get 1,000 good comments, but the dot bad comment is the one that stays in your head.
Yes, yeah. I think for the most part, it's been, the only someone thought I stole his brother's name on purpose. I said, dang, I don't know your brother. He's like, this idiot took my brother's name. I was like, I didn't think nothing.
But because, like, I don't know, again, maybe it's a functional game of us in Fiji, we're not big on the reading, but sometimes you can seem to understand that just because she's called Lide and your name is Lide,
Oh my gosh,
it doesn't,
yes.
Just because your name is Anna.
Yeah, man, all the Peters.
All the Peters, eh?
Poor Peters.
Yeah? Some of those Peters were like paragons of society, eh? Like the perfect man, eh? Oh, man.
Yeah, spoke. I apologize. Sorry, Peter.
So collectively to all the Peters out there, the Peter sphere. Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So Fiction Fiji, and you're working on new stuff, which I think your readers would be very happy to hear about. I'm excited to read that because it's interesting. So you've gone like from a straight up love triangle type thingy to a horror and then sci-fi basically.
Yes. Something like that. So I think I'm testing the waters to say, but I'm really excited about this because it's going to challenge me. I have to create a whole world of snakeskin Zulus.
Snakeskin Zulus and mongoose gauntlets, whatever you call them. And the book, how far along are you with the book?
The book, I would say, I don't know, 2/3. So I submitted a piece of that to they had like a call for literary pieces for the Center of the Arts, the ones that just opened.
You submitted, oh cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So I submitted a piece of that book to them to see, because I've had no formal learning, and I would like to, because sometimes I go back and I look at it and I go, man, I don't know, I'm using the right tense and this grammar.
Also, you had no formal learning as far as writing is concerned in
never.
English. Oh, that's impressive, amazing.
I think it's mad.
But then maybe that's the important thing. You can go to school for 10 years to learn how to write, but if you're not actually writing, what's the point?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're actually doing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But you know, I want to do it too well.
Yeah. I mean, like, any chance to improve on what you do.
Yes.
So, okay, just apart from Fiction Fiji and fiction in general, you write, you play with words.
Yes.
In your work life, your professional work life, how does it work? Do you feel like when you're writing something, you just want to just burst into fiction mode, but then realize it's business speak? Like, is that a thing?
It can be hard. It can be hard to just stick to facts.
Right.
And, you know, but because I write about a whole bunch of stuff, so you know, I mix it up so it doesn't get too taxing. So that by the time I come back to my hobby, I got a lot of time for that because like I'm fed up of, I'm not fed up.
Hey boss, I'm not fed up. I love it so much.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm fed up.
Oh man! No, but you know what? It's honestly really good to sit down with you because then just about all the stuff that you've done, the stuff that's coming. Because that sounds really exciting.
Thank you.
Exciting, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stephanie Datt is the person behind Fiction Fiji, joining us for LegendFM Mix. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we just wrap things up. Let us wrap things up in the traditional manner.
This is the first time for me to taste this.
Wow!